Indie Beacon Radio with hostess Charlotte Canion. Welcome to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. You can send questions for each show on Twitter using the hashtag IndieBeacon. Now sit back and enjoy learning about our guest for this show.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Canion and your host. Today we have the pleasure of introducing Tom Blanton. He's an award-winning author. Tom, how are you doing this evening?
Well, this is my first Zoom, Charlotte, and I'm a little bit at sea here, but otherwise everything's just groovy.
Doing well. Let me
Yes.
ask you something. I was looking a little bit at your bio, and you haven't been a writer your whole life. Is that correct?
Oh, that is absolutely correct. It was just happenstance, really, more than anything, that brought me to this point, yes.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about your background. I'm sure the listeners would love to know, where you came from, what you studied, and, what led you to this path.
I was, for 33 years, a lawyer lobbyist here in Austin for a statewide trade association, car dealers, to be specific.
Mm.
And I always liked to write. I always felt good when I was writing, but I didn't do any of that while I was working. But that's what I was. That's what I did for all these years.
And that was your love, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. I very much enjoyed what I was doing. Absolutely. But I also enjoyed writing the book.
You have a family?
I quite do. I do, Charlotte. I have 3 sons, grown, and a wife, and 3 cats.
And 3 cats.
And 3 cats.
And 3 cats. And you wrote your book for someone special. Who was that?
That would be my grandson.
And what's his name?
His name is Jonah Blanton. And his whole thing happened because of him, really.
How old is Jonah?
Jonah is now 10, but this project started as a birthday present for his 9th birthday.
Oh, how a pleasure. How long did it take you to write?
Oh, I guess it took me about 6 months, probably.
Yeah. And did you have an idea, what you were going to write about?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I knew exactly what I wanted it to be.
Now, how long have you thought about, writing a story for him and then getting it published?
Well, that's 2 separate things, really. When I made the decision to do it for him, I had no idea whatsoever that I might seek publication. That came later. It was just going to be. In fact, I did. I had a little book printed for him. You can have a book printed with a cover and everything. Looks like a real book, and that's what I did. And then one of my friends told me that I should pursue the publication thing. So that's the way that happened. I mean, nobody could talk me out of it.
Okay, well, tell me about the characters in your story. Did you pattern any of them after people that and you don't have to name anyone, but, sometimes our life influences what we write.
Well, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it did, but no one specifically comes to mind, no. I had my little grandson in mind when I was writing it, and to some extent, I guess, the 13-year-old hero represents him, and to some extent. But no, there were no people that I wanted to incorporate. Not real people, anyway.
not real life people.
No, not real life.
You want to point out.
No.
Now, was it? I noticed that your story is called the Message of the Painted Rock. Is there such a place as the Painted Rock, or was it a place, or is it a fantasy?
Well, certainly in the book there is a cave painting that plays a very important role in the book. A cave painting in a cave in Southwest Texas, and there is a book, and you may not have read it, but it's called The White Shaman by a fantastic lady named Carolyn Boyd. She's an archaeologist, and she studied this cave painting in Southwest Texas for many years and wrote this fantastic book. And as soon as I read it, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And so that was kind of the inspiration for the whole thing.
That was
In fact,
that gave you, yeah, that gave you the inspiration. That gave you the inspiration to how to put the story. Yeah.
I wanted it to be the centerpiece of the story, absolutely, and it is.
And it definitely is.
Yeah.
Well, I also, I know that you can go out there and you can listen to a little snippet of, of your story, and it sounds just really intriguing. Give us a reaction. How did your grandson react the first time did you read it to him, or did he read it?
He read it. Well, actually, when I gave it to him, I read him, I guess, maybe one chapter. But then he read it. And the story goes that he read it twice. I don't know that, but that's the public consumption story, that he did read it. He's very precocious in that regard, and I don't doubt that he read it, and maybe even twice. He claims to have enjoyed it very much.
Very good. Well, he's probably read it again and again.
Perhaps so.
Perhaps so. I noticed behind you have lots of books, so it appears that you enjoy the literary world.
A weakness that I've had forever, I'm afraid to report to you. Yes, I do.
Is there a famous author that, I don't know that you would aspire to be, but a famous author that you love to read all of their works?
Well, sure. The one I would aspire to be would be Thomas Pynchon. But I guess I've read more of the Faulkner books than anything. Probably all of them, maybe once or twice.
Yeah. I noticed some awards back there behind you. Now, I know you won an award with this book in the children's field.
Yeah.
What is the award that's back there behind you?
That one is the Pencraft Award, second place in young adult fantasy. The Pencraft Award, yes.
That's very good, very good. And I know your family's got to be very proud of you. Do you plan on writing more? Have you ever written articles for magazines?
Oh yes, many times. In my professional life, I did that for our magazine at the association. Every month I wrote an article for that magazine. It was a political take that was designed for car dealers to read. That's what I did. Yeah. And there will be another.
Yeah.
There will be another book in this series. In fact, in December, I believe it's going to be released.
Well, we'll talk about that shortly. Now, do you have just the one grandson? I'm going to have to share with you. I'm a me mom, and I have 20 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren.
Oh, good for you. That's fantastic.
And what do they? You have 2?
2. Well, one grandson and one granddaughter.
One granddaughter. And didn't you say you had 3 sons?
3 sons.
3
but
sons.
Only one of them has produced so far. I haven't given up, though. No, it's wonderful being a grandparent. I think it's really good.
I don't think people understand. I do love my kids, but grandkids are so much more special because you don't have to raise them. You don't have to. It's like mine used to say, "Mom, you never let us sit up on the kitchen counter and stir the cakes." But grandkids can sit up there and make the biggest mess. But we didn't allow our kids, or I didn't allow my kids to to do that. But grandkids are so special. Do they live there with you in Austin, Texas, or in the area within a reasonable facsimile?
My grandkids. Yes, well, yes, they live not far from me. In fact.
Oh, that's very good.
Absolutely. I don't get to see. Obviously, now I don't get to see them once because of the plague and all of that. But Yeah, they're
Right.
close, very close.
Well, Tom, if you'll hold that thought, we're going to come back after our sponsors have a little talk to you.
I'm Rox Berkey.
And I'm Charles Brakefield. We're award-winning co-authors, Brakefield and Berkey, of the Enigma book series. There are 10 books in the series, with book number 11 planned for release in January 2020.
Each story has a central technology focus ranging from identity theft to cryptocurrency and now AI wars. These adult techno thrillers pit cyber good guys against cyber thugs across the darknet.
In our world, technology is today's weapon of choice. You can enjoy ebook format, paper, or Audible. We want your feedback.
Until the next story, thank you.
Thanks.
Well, hello there, my friends. My name is Randy James, independent voiceover producer in the Dallas, Texas area, available to write and record a 30-second commercial, much like the one you're hearing right now. It's a great way to help increase awareness and exposure to your book title. It's easy to do. Simply call me and we'll brainstorm on a few ideas, and in a few hours, I'll whip something up and send you a digital file ready to use. Remember, call or text me, Randy James, at 214-762-1942.
Welcome to IndieLector.store, an online bookstore where the discriminating reader can find award-winning books. IndieLector.store is not a big corporation, so we can give up to 80% of the sales directly to the author. Help us support them by buying a great book at IndieLector.store.
Hello, I am the author and poet Denise Bryson. I am the author of The Things That Cross My Mind, Love's Reality, both in book and audio form. I am also noted as one of the best poets of 2011. I have two new projects coming up. One is the Blinky series, where Blinky tells us all about our coins and our bills for our children. I also have a book coming out called Say Ye. It's quotes from Denise Bryson, just inspirational and that will help you along the way.
Welcome back to Indie Beacon Radio. Don't forget to like us, follow us, or subscribe to one of our many channels. Now, here is your host for today's show.
This is Charlotte Canion, and I'm having the pleasure of talking to Tom Blanton, and he's the author of the book, The Message in the Painted Rock. And he was telling us that this is a real place, that they have caves that have these paintings on them. Tom, can you give us a little more detail? I know you said that the author was one of your favorites, and you read everything about her, and you decided that your grandson's book would be patterned, and that would be the focal point. Can you tell us a little bit about what those paintings are about, or will that give away too much of the book?
Well, no, it won't. It won't. They were painted by Native Americans about 2,000 years ago, and this particular, it's really called a rock shelter more than a cave, but there are several of them down in the Pecos Canyon lands, you see. And that is where she chose to study her. White Shaman is the name of her cave. And I've never been there, of course, and I don't know if I could go there, but it's just quite fascinating. You should pick up the book sometime.
Sounds very interesting. Now, you mentioned a little bit ago that it's kind of hard to see your grandkids with this covert that, we're all dealing with.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. What is the first thing once everything opens? What do you want to do? Do you take your grandson fishing? What is it you want to do with them once this opens up?
Probably cook burgers for them. That would be what I would choose to do first.
Because I think you and I are in the same boat. We're in that age bracket that we're not supposed to be exposed to anyone that may or may not, have had it. I didn't know if you liked fishing. Have you taken them fishing?
I have never taken them fishing. I am not a fisherman myself, so no, I've never done that. I don't know that they've ever been fishing. Maybe, but not with me.
No. Well, that's just something I've actually, my husband has taken our grandsons fishing,
Really?
so I just thought,
Yeah.
maybe that was something, because I know that around Austin there are all kinds of lakes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And people do go out there in throngs to go fishing. Yeah. Actually, I
Yeah.
have been out there a couple of times to go fishing, but not a very serious effort, I might say.
Well, you said that you're thinking about writing. Is this going to be an ongoing series? You're writing the second book. Is it going to have the same type area, or are you sitting on a different venture?
Well, it's the same characters, and certainly the same venue, the same locale, set in the same little town. But of course, it's a whole different adventure, and different characters.
Can you give us a little bit of hint of what we can look forward to?
An Aztec witch. How about that?
Wow. So you're going to scare them a little bit.
Well, this one's going to be a little bit more of that, I think, than the first one. I was very mindful of who I was writing it for. And again, I wasn't planning on anybody in the world reading it except my grandson. So I kept it pretty vanilla in that regard. But this one's going to be a little bit darker, I think.
And you said you're going to add some more characters. Now I know you've got Arthur, and is it Myra in the first book?
Oh, Mariah.
Mariah.
Arthur and Mariah, yes.
And they're following through, but you're going to add some more characters in this second book?
Yes, there will be some different characters. Some of the same characters will come back for a curtain call, but different characters will be in it as well. Yeah. A Texas Ranger will be in it, for example.
Now,
really like him.
Did you do a little research on Texas Rangers before you came up with this character?
I did. I absolutely did, because I didn't know anything at all about Texas Rangers. I wanted to have one, and I didn't want to look like an idiot. So yeah, I did some research.
Very good. Can you give us a little bit about his personality?
Well, he's very he doesn't talk much. In fact, it's hard to get him to say anything, and he thinks a lot. And he is big and powerful, and of course he becomes a victim, but that's had to happen that way. But yeah, I like him. He's good. He does a good job, I think.
So he's a man of few words. Do you have a name for him yet?
Yes, his name is Sergeant Morales.
Sergeant Morales. So we can look forward to the building on his character and what happens to him in the new book. Yeah, go ahead.
I hope you can look forward to it. I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Have you been writing during this downtime?
Well, yeah, I had to do the first edit during this downtime, and that was kind of that's a challenge in any event, in any circumstances, in any environment. But yeah, I did that. Yes, and I have been writing since. That book has already been sent.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. So we'll see. I haven't got it back yet.
But you're expecting it to be published by the end of the year?
December the 3rd, I believe.
December the 3rd. Now, are you going to follow up with another book?
I don't know. I didn't really think very much about doing this one, to tell you the truth, but those characters just wouldn't hear of it. Arthur and Mariah insisted that they were having so much fun that they had to have another opportunity to go out and solve a mystery. So I gave in and did that one, and I had a lot of fun doing it. But there is a third one that's out there for sure. I just don't know if we'll ever get that far. I mean, I know what it's going to be. If there is a third one, I know exactly what it's going to be as well, but we'll see.
Well, very good. It's in its infancy right now, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It is way in its infancy. But I know what it's going to be if it grows up.
Yeah. And are you going to have you thought of new characters for the new book?
Yes. In fact, there's going to be several new characters in it. I'm not sure just who they're going to be quite yet, but yeah, who's going to be there. I think. Well, I'm not going to give everything away now, am I?
No, but you got to entice them. You got to give us something to, to intrigue us. I keep trying to pull it out of you.
Well,
I want people to go out and buy your book and
oh, you're very nice. You're very
and the new
nice.
books and now what is the age genre? I guess adults would enjoy, because I mean it, like I said, it was fascinating to me.
I think so. At the outset, I said it was for middle grade kids and maybe up to 15, but a lot of the feedback that I have received on that has led me to think it's probably for everybody, and that makes me happy to think that. So, yeah, it really does. So I think 10 and up is what I'm kind of thinking. Age 10 and up.
Yeah. And you're going to keep it within that realm and not get, and I guess the word would be more complicated as you try to reach the more adult.
Absolutely. I'm going to stay with what I know, I guess is the best way to put it.
Well, Tom, we're going to take another break here and let our sponsors
let's do that.
Do their thing.
All right, break.
Hi, I'm Jerry Reedy, author of the book Heat in the Vegas Night. The book is a true inside story of a group of sophisticated blackjack players that take large sums of money from Las Vegas, led by one man, the boss, who trained a group of ex-college athletes from the Pacific Northwest to use a mirror to see the dealer's hole card in blackjack. The true story, stranger than fiction, is about casino espionage, teamwork, guts and determination, and courage. Find the book at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Target.
Thank you for watching or listening to Indie Beacon Radio. Our sponsor, IndieLector.store, is the only bookstore that pays authors their fair share for book sales. Help authors to succeed and enjoy a great book by supporting them at IndieLector.store. Enjoy a 10% discount with coupon code SHOPPER20 at IndieLector.store. Coupon valid until December 31st, 2020. That's IndieLector.store, coupon code SHOPPER20.
The 5th Annual Authors Marketing Event. 2 days of live seminars in marketing for authors. The only organization that certifies authors in marketing. Live and free to the first 100 authors registered. Sponsored by Bubblish, empowering entrepreneurs, and Indie Lector Store, paying authors for their fair share. Head to www.2020.authorsmarketingguild.com today.
What started as a love letter to her son has become an international love letter for all parents to their children. Now you can read acclaimed author Shanalee Charbonneau's story to your children. When her son was very sick, she calmed him by singing her own song to him. She turned that song into the book, My Mama Loves Me, I'm Her Little Boy. She wrote 3 more magical books for all parents and kids 6 and under. Available at Indie Lector, Amazon, and all local and national outlets.
Authors Marketing Guild is a membership-owned organization designed to help authors succeed and learn how to better market and sell themselves and their books. Join us at authorsmarketingguild.com and receive so many benefits you'll wonder why you didn't join sooner. That's authorsmarketingguild.com.
Welcome back to Indie Beacon Radio. Don't forget to like us, follow us, or subscribe to one of our many channels. Now, here is your host for today's show.
This is Charlotte Canion, and we're speaking with Tom Blanton, and he is the author of The Message in the Painted Rock. And Tom, we've enjoyed hearing why you wrote your book. You wrote it for your grandson, and that you got author, and it's Mariah.
Mariah, and
Mariah.
she's very particular about that.
Yes,
Don't
I
get that
know.
wrong.
Anyway, you got Arthur and Mariah. Now, is Arthur a little bit based on your grandson, I mean?
A little bit, yeah. I think so. I wasn't intentional, but I think so.
Well, where can people get your books? How do they get a hold of your books?
Well, Amazon, of course, is a good place to go. And my publisher, Black Rose Writing, and I should give them a shout out because they've been so good to me. I think they're also available from Black Rose as well.
Now, have you ever done a book signing?
No. Well, not really. I mean, for some friends, I did once, but no, I haven't.
Oh, you need to get out there and sign your books and be in front of people, because you're a pleasure it's just been phenomenal to talk to you. You have a beautiful, beautiful smile and a beautiful laugh, and I've just really enjoyed, speaking with you today on the radio. And if you had to tell a new writer, because you and I both started writing at a senior. I mean, I was 70 years old before I started writing. So, we started writing at our senior age. We took up a career. If you had a word of advice, what would you give a new writer? What would you tell them?
Well, first, I feel like it would be very presumptuous of me to give advice to a writer, because here I am. I have one book, and
okay,
and that's all I have. And anything I could tell them, they would probably already know anyway. But one thing I would say is that it's a roller coaster, and you have to be buckled in pretty securely. It's an emotional roller coaster, as you well know, I'm sure.
It's like giving birth to a baby. It becomes your baby.
It does. And nobody on the planet, and this is another thing that I discovered. Nobody on the planet, not my loving wife who is so supportive of me, not my family, not my friends, not my acquaintances. There is nobody on the planet invested in this little thing like I am. And people have a life. It turned out I don't have a life outside of that book for a long time anyway. And I realize that's okay. It's gonna be fine. Nobody has to be quite as into it as I am. I had to learn that.
But Tom, it sounds like you have enjoyed your journey, and we want to thank you for being on the show today. And this is Tom Blanton, and he's the author of The Message in the Painted Rock, and he's got another one coming out. And I'm Charlotte Canion, your host, and I want you to remember, a rose is like a book. You can't know its beauty until you look at it. And a book is like a rose. You won't know its full beauty until you open it. This is Charlotte Canion saying bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. To learn more about Indie Beacon services, to be a guest on the show, or to advertise on our show, please visit our website.
Indie Beacon Radio with hostess Charlotte Cannon.
Indie Beacon Radio is produced by B. Allen Bourgeois for Authors Marketing Guild LLC, copyright 2020. Voiceover by Randy James, Lydia Bello, and B. Allen Bourgeois. To be a sponsor of the show or for more information, please email us at info@authorsmarketingguild.com. To be interviewed for the show, please complete the form at radio.authorsmarketingguild.com. Music Always Rejoice by Ramcord